Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secure Team. We're back to business here. I actually took a day off yesterday to celebrate my 30th birthday. That's right, dirty 30. I'm an old man now, decrepit old man. Here's a picture of me opening one of the gifts my wife gave me of a new shirt. Although I would have rather her gotten me one of those really awesome mobility scooters that you see the old timers rolling around in, something like this. I'm definitely going to be needing one of these. I'm also hoping to get some of those really awesome Velcro shoes, just to aid in supporting the arthritis that I'll no doubt be having very soon. I'm an old man, 30 years old, and actually, you know what? That's not the only awesome thing. You know what? By the way, I got to show you this. This is the birthday cake that my wife had made for me. Now, isn't that awesome? My very own alien head cake. It's actually made out of cupcakes. And man, I thought that was pretty awesome. And man, that cake was damn good, I gotta tell you. And I want to give all of you a big special thanks for all of your heartwarming birthday messages and wishes. Some of them were extremely hilarious on my Facebook and Twitter, so thank all of you guys for that. I love all of you, much appreciated. Another great thing that I want to mention before we get started with this video is the fact that we have just surpassed 500,000 subscribers. So we did it, man. We did it. We're here. 500,000 subscribers and growing. We'll be at 1 million in no time. That is just awesome. Never would have thought it would have grown that big. But you know what? That gives me courage to continue knowing that so many people are opening their eyes and watching and wanting to learn, and it's just awesome. So, now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's go ahead and start with this video and this new Mars image. Very strange image that was emailed to me depicting some very strange objects on the surface of Mars in this new Mars rover image. And it's up in the top left corner, and you can actually see it with the image already zoomed out. Can you see it up in the top left? It almost looks like an outpost of some sort, even at this distance. So let's go ahead and zoom in. Now here is the zoomed in shot, and already I am noticing multiple anomalous structures in this image. First and foremost, that of this tower-like structure in the background. Very obvious, whatever this thing is, sticking up from the surface. There is nothing on Mars that I have ever seen that would stick up this high at such a distance. Furthermore, we also have what looks like a possible domed structure to the left of this tower or antenna-like object. And, I mean, it's pretty plain to see. We haven't messed with this image in any way, no contrast adjustments. We're not creating things that are not there. This is the original image untouched, and you can see this looks like an outpost, an installation of some sort. And oddly enough, it looks very similar to some other domed Mars findings, such as this. Here we have another dome in a crater on Mars. And this new image especially looks like another image, that with which you're seeing here, of another domed object. We posted this last year on Mars, found on a hillside, and you see the dome, you see the sunlight reflecting off of it, and to the right we see another strange object with sort of a zigzagging pipeline of some sort or trail coming down the hill from the object. So once again, looks like another type of outpost, if you will. And as we've discussed in past videos, there's been a lot of talk of sending humans to Mars. All of the space agencies across the world, which we discussed recently, are now ramping up their projects and apparent need to get humans to Mars, to start a civilization on Mars, to try to figure out how we can get a lot of humans there. And we were talking about why they are doing this. Why is there a sudden rush to get people to Mars? And in my opinion, we likely already have people on Mars. There have been whistleblowers that have come out in the past and said that there were secret black projects, that people were sent to Mars, that there were bases and installations on Mars. Now we have these domed structures here. Here's another dome sitting on the edge of a cliffside on Mars. This big black, shiny, almost black glass type dome here, and brings us back to this new image of this structure, whatever it is. I mean, this can't be natural, because I know what antennas and towers look like from a distance. I see them all the time on Earth, especially out in the country. You know what they look like, and they look exactly like this. So I think we have a massive towering object here. Again, a very sharp, domed, circular structure next to it. Let me know what you guys think. Very strange, and kudos to the viewer who sent it in. Another thing I want to talk about, and we're going to show you some footage in this video too, and I've got a few updates to past videos that we posted, so be sure to watch. A recent video was posted by the Project Camelot YouTube channel. If you don't know, Project Camelot, run by Carrie Cassidy, is a research group that do mainly interviews with whistleblowers and people like that. They do an awesome job, and they recently did an interview with Mr. Ken Johnston, who was talking about structures on the moon. Now, Ken Johnston is a very controversial figure, and he has exposed some of the most devastating moon photos showing these structures. Now, Mr. Johnson is a retired aerospace worker. He's an ex-Marine. He's a NASA whistleblower, and he worked with NASA on NASA projects for years. During the Apollo programs, he worked with the management of the Lunar Receiving Laboratory, and he came in contact with a lot of images that came from the moon, and he was actually fired by NASA when he refused to follow orders and destroy a collection of 10 by 8 glossy photo prints of the moon from the Apollo program that apparently contained structures on the moon. So he was told to destroy them, and he refused, and he was fired, and has had his record tarnished by NASA ever since because of this. So in this new interview, at about the 24-minute mark, he begins talking about these structures on the moon and shows an image that we've actually featured on this channel before. Scott Waring over at UFO Sightings Daily posted on this pictures years back, and it is one of the most, like I said before, devastating images proving that there are installations on the moon. And that image that he showed in this interview, you're seeing here, of one of these domes sitting in a crater on the moon. Now, if there was ever a moon photo that I could point you to and say, okay, you want evidence that there is activity happening on the moon, that these structures do exist, this image here, well, this set of images, there's actually two different images and angles that show this dome sitting in a crater, and I would point you straight to this image, one of the first images I would tell you to go to. Now, I will put the link to both of these images down in the video description, and you can check them out. Now, here is the Lunar and Planetary Institute website where you'll find these images, and I'm showing you a screen grab here of both of the images. They are taken from separate angles as they orbited the moon. So they got two different angles of this dome sitting in this crater, and I'm kind of cycling back and forth here, and here's a close-up here showing the two different images, and we'll cycle back and forth just to show you that even as the angle changes, this structure stays in place. This is a real structure that would have to be miles wide, and this is what Mr. Johnson has spoken about the fact that there are bases on the moon, there are ruins on the moon, there are structures on the moon that are enclosed in these massive domes that would allow these bases to have an atmosphere, and you are seeing one of these domes unedited here in these sets of images. I highly suggest you go and download these images. You never know when they'll be taken down. And Mr. Johnson has an entire collection of never-before-seen NASA images from various Apollo missions, the Mercury mission, a lot of different missions. And you can find those on his website, and I will go ahead and put the link to that down in the video description as well. But we discovered a lot of these things on the moon. Here is another image that we featured before, showing what looks like some sort of an array of objects down on the surface of the moon. And it's actually right to the left of the orbiter here, of the lunar module. And as we zoom in, we begin to see them, we see the sunlight reflecting off of them, and we see just rows of these installations, these objects, these buildings, whatever they are. It could be some sort of satellite array. We don't know exactly, but again, another perfect example of these structures, these bases, these installations on the lunar surface. Another image very seldom seen, also from Ken's collection, of this beautiful sprawling shot of the moon. We see Earth in the background, and if you'll notice down to the lower right, we see this white object sort of jetting up from the surface of the moon, and it sort of has a balloon shape, as you're seeing here as we zoom in. Yeah, perfect teardrop light bulb shape coming up from the moon or sitting on the moon, but it's very strange because if you look at this object, you can see attached to the bottom of it and sprawling across this crater looks like a wire of some sort. A wire, a rope, a cable of some sort. Look at this thing. Look at this long cable stretching across the moon, looking to connect to the bottom of this light bulb shaped object. And again, this is probably the first time a lot of you have ever seen this image. And again, another piece to the puzzle. Very strange, very anomalous. We've shown you the structures. We've shown you these large satellite dish-like structures, as you're seeing in this image here, where we have this large circular dish shape with sort of a centerpiece in the middle. Here's another image of the same object. You can see the shadow underneath it. This thing is coming up off the ground. We've shown you the pictures of the lunar surface taken, showing these large rectangular buildings sitting in the background on the moon. And you can see the astronaut walking here. You see this strange blue light in the original image, but when you bring out the background detail, you see this large skyscraper-like building just sort of hiding in the background. And here we have another image, again from the moon, showing some of these tall building-like structures hiding in the darkness of space in the background. Some have said that these are glass-like structures, and that is one of the reasons that they are hiding so well in the darkness of space. But again, they are there when you analyze the imagery. So again, so far, we've found this odd installation on Mars. We've spoken about the domes, the towers, and the anomalous structures found on the moon, the Ken Johnson interview. This image, again, go and download it, analyze it. It's an amazing find. And now I want to go on to a new video that was emailed to me by Glenn, captured in the Bronx, New York, of a very strange object that just seemed to sit in the sky. And it's him and a friend of his having a kind of a funny conversation. So again, I'll let you check this out and we'll talk in just a minute.
I don't think you're gonna be able to zoom in on that.
Yeah, I zoomed already. I don't know if that's balloons, but that shit.
Well, what else could it be that floats that high?
Yeah, but it's just sitting there, Jose. How can it just sit there? You see, it's
because
not.
There's no wind.
Dude, it's not even moving though. It's like just sitting there, bro.
Maybe the helium is starting to wear out.
That shit, look, it's not even budging, Jose. Like it's just sitting there.
I can't even see what the hell you're looking at.
Look at it. It's just sitting there. Don't you think if it was a balloon, it'd be moving?
Maybe there's no air. There's no air, dude. There's no wind.
I don't know, man. I don't believe that shit for a second, dude.
So what else could it possibly be if it ain't a balloon?
I don't know, but that's why I'm recording it, brother.
A balloon. A balloon.
Oh. You know, there's a lot of strange shit we don't know about, man, floating in the sky, bro.
UFO?
Possible. Who the fuck knows what the fuck that is? That shit could be a drone. That shit could be anything.
A drone.
Serious. I'm trying to keep this shit as still as I can.
I lost it.
Nah, I got it.
I think I lost it. I know I lost. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's getting up there. It's getting up close to the cloud.
It can't go no further.
Yeah.
All right, so again, as you just saw, and I love the little back and forth between these two guys as they're watching this thing. And I kind of agree with Glenn, who was saying that this object isn't moving. If it were balloons, and we've seen plenty of balloons, they seldom sit in one spot for an extended period of time. Now, this object is odd. It looks like it's two objects, one on top of the other, and it does just sit there. It doesn't look to move. It doesn't look to be being caught up in the wind, moving left, right, increasing in altitude. It just seems to be sitting there. And again, we've been capturing a lot of strange things over New York in general, New York and New Jersey. We just posted the other video you guys all saw of that large black rectangular structure caught by a vehicle going over the bridge to New Jersey, who captured this big object that was just sitting in the sky once again. And now we have this object in the Bronx. So let me know what you guys think of that. Kudos to Glenn for sending that in. Very strange. If it wasn't for it just sitting there in the sky, I would say, yeah, there's a good chance it's a balloon, but I'm not so sure. I mean, this thing just seems to sit there. So again, very strange. Now for some updates to some past footage that we showed you guys in a recent video. Now, you guys probably remember this. This was captured and recorded in the UK by a 13-year-old boy of this very strange black object hovering in the sky. Now, we spoke about the fact that the Scottish media did a news story about this and tried to claim that it looked like a Chinook helicopter. Well, in our last video, we showed you what a Chinook helicopter actually looked like and how it looked nothing like this object. Furthermore, there was no sound whatsoever of a helicopter in the original video. So we showed you the video, we showed you the still image, as you're seeing here, of this strange object. Now, directly after I posted this video, well, shortly after, I got an email from the father of the boy who recorded the video, and he sent me another image that apparently the Scottish media refused to use in their news story. And he said that it was odd because this image shows a much clearer shot of this object that was also captured by his 13-year-old son, and you're seeing that image here. And again, as we zoom in, you'll see it's the same exact object, and it is much clearer. And it's very strange that the Scottish media, who did a news story on this, apparently refused to use this, instead opting for the shaky video footage and the still shots from the video footage, whereas this was actually a photograph taken. It's not from any video. And again, you can see that this is not a Chinook helicopter. This is something different, whatever it is. And the fact that, like all news media, they pick and choose what they want to use, and when they leave out an image like this showing a clear, definite clear shot of this object, it really makes you wonder what they're trying to hide, and why they were trying to push so hard the idea that this was a helicopter when it certainly and obviously isn't. So big thanks to Jamie, the father of the boy who recorded this video. Now, lastly, we have another update to a set of images that were captured over Australia. Now, we recently did a video about these strange circular clouds that are popping up, and apparently they're popping up across the world now. This is the first time I'd ever gotten an image of these strange circular clouds that you're seeing here. This was captured in Australia, and here is a zoomed-in shot from that recent video where the source had circled one of the objects, one of multiple objects that she witnessed coming out of this cloud. She said there were about 4 or 5 of these circular objects that began coming out of this strange cloud formation. So then I recently got another email from another man, this time in Pensacola, Florida, showing the same type of cloud formation in those images you're seeing here. And again, it's very strange. You can see we have all these normal clouds, and then out of nowhere, and again, kind of sticking out and not really fitting in with these other clouds, we have another one of these strange, perfect, circular-shaped clouds. And he got a few angles. This is the first angle here. Here is another angle taken in a vertical shot, once again showing this strange circular cloud, which looks virtually identical to the cloud that was captured in Australia. So again, what is with these strange circular clouds popping up everywhere? Now, I may even have more images and video of these clouds elsewhere. I've got a lot of emails to get to. I took a day off yesterday for my birthday, and I've literally got 4 or 5 pages worth of emails and footage to go through. So if you emailed me, please know that I will get back to you. So again, very strange times. Let me know what you guys think. Strange things on Mars, the moon, things in our skies. We are living in some very awesome and mysterious times. Kudos to all of you guys for helping us reach 500,000 subscribers, and we'll keep on going. I'm an old man now, but I'll take some medicine for it and strap on my new Velcro shoes, and we'll be good to go. Alright, so thanks for watching. Share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you back soon with much, much more.